共闘だ。
Ky is the generalist of Guilty Gear. Not outstanding in any regard, but also without clear weaknesses. Ky can accomplish pretty much any playstyle possible in Guilty Gear. Everything from zoning, rushdown, high-low mix-ups, strike throw game. In this way, Ky allows the player to use whatever your opponent's weakness is against them in a way no other character can. You will never be as good a zoner as Axel, or as good at mix-ups as Sato or Milia, but in matchups where Axel might excel for his ability to zone out, Ky can accomplish the same strategy, while not as well, still able to utilize this matchup weakness, and in the matchups where Axel will need to play a more aggressive game, Ky can accomplish it better than Axel, because he does not have specialization. Ky has strong projectiles, a good DP, fantastic normals, ability to convert from almost any range, amazing anti-airs, safe Oki, an infamous overhead, anti-zoning tools, strong frame traps, and one of the best YRC specials in the game. Ky has it all. Heinlein once wrote, "A human being should be able to change a diaper, plan an invasion, butcher a hog, con a ship, design a building, write a sonnet, balance accounts, build a wall, set a bone, comfort the dying, take orders, give orders, cooperate, act alone, solve equations, analyze a new problem, pitch manure, program a computer, cook a tasty meal, fight efficiently, die gallantly." Specialization is for insects. This is what Ky accomplishes. So, what's the downside? Ky does not have real negatives in any really important way. Instead, what sets Ky apart is that he does not excel in any one aspect, and thus does not dominate any one character to an extreme, the same way Axel does to a slow character, or Chip does to someone that needs space to set up. He always has a fair chance in every matchup, and can play the matchup in the way that your opponent has the hardest time to deal with, but never to the extent that a specialized character can. In this way, he lacks overly favorable matchups, but also lacks overly negative ones. More than any other character, Ky will show just how much better you are than your opponent. Guilty Gear combos can be very freeform in many cases, and you will often have to convert from stray hits, so it's important to have a basic idea of what your route should look like, rather than a strict idea of a set sequence of buttons to always press in order. Ky generally has two moves he wants to hit mid-screen, and those are either Split CL or Stun Dippa, with a preference for Split CL when possible. Split CL sets up Ky's unique mechanic to Xrd, which is grinders. Normal Stunnage and Charge Stunnage are strong moves that allow good neutral control and safe Oki, but Grinder and Hot Stunnage are monstrous tools of oppression in both neutral and Oki. Therefore, trying to end combos into it allows much better Oki after. A very common ender here is 2D into Split CL, but many other options exist, such as 6k into Split CL followed by 2k 2D, but requires more practice. Stun Dipper is your main confirm at range. Ky's Far Slash is one of the best in the game, and you can try to confirm straight into Stun Dipper or into 2S, which does not allow you to convert from Far Slash at max range, but makes the confirm into Stun Dipper much easier and safer. Ky lacks a strong tool for getting a knockdown from air hits, without sacrificing damage from either, and many of her air hits will simply be any variation of air buttons into Vapor Thrust. His strong anti-airs allow good conversions, but they are susceptible to your opponent taking out and not getting knocked down. This is not as big of an issue as it would be for many other characters, due to how strong Ky's neutral game is, even if you don't get the knockdown. Once you are comfortable with these, you can start implementing one of his strongest confirms, which is a crouching confirm into free heavy slash, which launches for much better damage. Crouching confirms can feel very intimidating at the start, but Guilty Gear is very forgiving in this aspect, because the Gatling system lets you do many buttons before you need to confirm the crouch, making it much easier than other games. In the corner, the majority of your routes don't change much. What is added is the ability to convert your launchers into split CL knockdown, drastically increasing your Oki abilities after. This can technically be done mid-screen too, if you practice enough, with a microdash Vapor Thrust, and it's a hallmark of the strongest Ky players. Ky in neutral dominates with his oppressive long-range buttons and strong close-range tools. His Far Slash and 2S are dominant mid-range to long-range tools that many characters have a hard time dealing with. If they get close, Ky's 2D is a notoriously strong tool with many active frames that can be thrown out to keep your opponent from approaching, and has many good cancel options, including jump cancelling. For air buttons, Jump K is an infamously good air-to-air and cross-up tool that will beat the majority of other air buttons in the game, and it's extremely good intercepting air attacks you anticipate. Supplemented by its very good stun edge, and especially stun edge YRC, which can act as a counter interrupt when you think your opponent wants to do something. He is very hard to get in on. Together with 6P and 2H as extremely strong anti-airs, Ky plays a very dominant neutral game that many characters have trouble getting around. And once he's gotten a knockdown from his good conversion tools, he has a very effective offense. Ky combines strong safe Oki mix-ups with strong frame traps for a very effective post-knockdown game. When using charged stun edge, Ky can safely approach after, while his opponent is forced to block. He uses many plus normals and pressure reset tools to set up dangerous tick throws and very damaging counter hit setups. If your opponent gets complacent, the infamous Greed Sever is an overhead that launches for full damaging combo and will often go over your opponent's crouching buttons they will probably try to mash out with, making mashing against Ky's pressure that much more dangerous. If you instead manage to get a knockdown with a grinder setup, you get to do enhanced charge stun edge, which is much stronger and lasts longer, allowing you to do a high-low with a late air dash. And even if they block it, you can often just continue into the fantastic strike throw game you would have gotten after a normal charge stun edge that they also have to get around. And if either mix-up hits, it's back to an enhanced charge edge. This sequence of safe Oki to safe Oki is one of the strongest parts of Ky's game plan and will serve you well at every level of play. If Ky interests you, some strong players you can look at are Machaboo and Ein from Japan. I have linked a video for them both respectively in the description. More in-depth information can be found on the excellent Dustloop wiki, which will break down every move and option in the game for Ky and every other character in the game. Coming up next is Slayer. I'm going to try to do one of these a day until Xrd rollback releases, with the hope of making it through the whole cast by then. So if you want to follow along and find out about the many interesting characters of Xrd, sub so you don't miss the next episode. Bye bye and trust in Greed Server.